Close your eyes. Go on, right now. Can you feel it? The subtle shift, the temporal ripple that carries you back exactly 144 years. You're not just observing, you're plunging times headfirst into New York City, 1880, a metropolis on the precipice, a city so powerfully, relentlessly explosive, it felt on the verge of simply times, bursting times at the seams. It was a crucible where millions from every conceivable corner of the globe poured in, each carrying a burning ember of hope in every ragged breath. A place where the wealthiest, most powerful titans of finance in history lived mere blocks from immigrant families withering away in cramped, squalid tenement rooms. A nascent, unfinished bridge, still a skeletal dream, was already poised to reshape the very course of American history forever. And everywhere you looked, from the pungent, cloying scent of horse manure to the incessant, frantic clang of cry, have you ever closed your eyes and envisioned yourself hurtling back in time, precisely 1 second, to the year 1880? Imagine suddenly standing amidst a New York City so explosively dynamic, it felt almost ready to burst at its seams. This was a city where millions from every corner of the globe poured in, each breath carrying the fiery torch of hope. A place where the most powerful and wealthiest financial titans in history lived mere blocks away from struggling immigrant families, dwindling in cramped, squalid tenement rooms. It was a metropolis where an ambitious bridge, still unfinished, was already poised to reshape American history forever. And everywhere you looked, from the acrid, pervasive stench of horse manure to the incessant clang of streetcar bells, served as a stark, relentless reminder that humanity was aggressively reinventing itself, redefining its core values in ways unprecedented in all of human history. This is no whimsical fairy tale woven from the threads of imagination. This is the raw, visceral truth, vibrantly alive in every detail and brimming with the intense emotions of the Gilded Age, a period both glorious and brutally cruel, marked by some of America's most profound tragedies and triumphs. And today, I'm not just inviting you to observe, I'm urging you to step with me directly into that ferocious current of time. But hold on for a moment, because what you are about to experience will utterly captivate you, rendering you unable to tear your eyes from the screen until the very last second. I promise you, we will uncover details that will leave you gasping in astonishment, and the deep, abiding secret of this city's indomitable soul will forever alter how you perceive New York today. Close your eyes right now. Envision the air around you turning sharp and cold, laced with the briny tang of sea salt, the acrid bite of coal smoke, and the suffocating, cloying pungency emanating from 10,000 carriage horses. The familiar drone of modern engines dissolves into an echoing void, replaced instead by the relentless screech and grind of iron wheels on uneven cobblestones, resounding through narrow alleys. This cacophony harmonizes with the frantic, insistent ringing of streetcar bells, a chaotic symphony of progress, raw and untamed. Can you feel the ceaseless tremor of a city growing too fast, straining past its own capacity to contain itself? That's the nervous electric energy, the tense lifeblood of a place fearlessly redefining the entire meaning of what it means to be human in a burgeoning industrial society. And I promise you, this profound journey will forever change your perception of the magnificent New York City of today. Welcome to New York City, 1880. We're not merely looking at faded photographs or time-worn documentary footage. We won't just observe exquisitely rendered AI recreations, meticulously crafted from the detailed maps of Egbert Fehler and the historically rich etchings from Harper's Weekly. No, we are truly stepping into the very heart of the Gilded Age, at its grittiest, loudest, and most tumultuous moment. I am your guide, and together, we will traverse the spine of Manhattan, back when this island was still the undisputed gateway to a new world brimming with both boundless promise and daunting challenges. Our journey today will lead you from the southern tip of the island, where the entire world descended in a frenzied confluence of sea spray and steam, weaving through the powerful financial district's formidable, often shadowy canyons, then deep into the glittering yet chaotic heart of the city's social life. But before we take a single step, do you know that this very spot, just a few decades prior, witnessed millions of human souls irrevocably altering America's destiny. And even more astonishingly, you will see firsthand the immense price those very individuals paid, the sacrifices they made to construct the America we know today. Stay with me, because the dark truths hidden within, and the blazing hope flickering behind every street, every brick, will compel you to keep exploring. We will commence our expedition at Castle Garden, navigating the dense, winding labyrinth of Lower Manhattan, well past beneath the majestic yet unfinished silhouette of a monumental bridge, and ultimately conclude amidst the colossal mansions that were relentlessly pushing the city northward. New York in 1880 was truly a city of vertical dreams and horizontal despair. It was a place where the wealthiest individuals in history resided just a few short blocks from the most desperately impoverished slums on Earth. Can you dare to imagine that horrifyingly stark juxtaposition? Be patient, for that very contrast will undoubtedly shock you to your core. Let's begin where the story of modern America truly took root. The waterfront. The sun has just begun to pierce the dense Atlantic fog, casting weak, ethereal streaks of light across the water's surface. As we stand at the Battery, gaze out at the harbor. It's a dense forest of masts, teeming with steamships, belching thick black smoke into the sky, jostling for space alongside elegant, anachronistic three-masted sailing vessels. The air here is thick, pungent with the briny taste of sea, the unwashed wool of thousands of damp coats, carrying the very breath of an entire world making landfall. To our left stands Castle Garden, a formidable, circular sandstone fort, once a renowned theatre where the voice of Jenny Lind famously soared. But now, it serves as the nation's primary immigrant processing station. Before Ellis Island opened its gates, this was the fateful threshold millions had to cross. I can see long lines of families, Irish, German, Italian, clutching their worn wooden trunks, gazing up at the new city's skyline with an indescribable blend of terror and fervent hope, of fear and burning aspiration. This building is no longer a venue for artistic performance. It has become a colossal mill, grinding and processing each human soul, assigning them a new destiny. Can you truly imagine the fear, mingled with an almost desperate, burning longing, in the eyes of those fathers and mothers? As they tightly clutched their children's hands, they stepped hesitantly onto American soil, their sole hope resting on a better life for the generations to come. These were genuine human emotions, invaluable lessons that we today must engrave upon our hearts to truly appreciate our own journeys and what we possess. But wait, in just a few decades, this fortress will assume yet another identity. It will become the New York Aquarium, and immigrants will be redirected to a distant island, leaving this place as a silent monument, nestled within a meticulously manicured park. I will reveal to you later why this specific moment of transition was the key that fundamentally altered the history of American immigration forever. The instant we turn our backs on the vast expanse of the sea and step onto Broadway, the transition is startlingly abrupt and dizzying. Leaving the open, airy expanse of the Battery, the towering buildings begin to loom, seemingly pressing down upon us, forming a deep, narrow canyon. We are now entering the vibrant financial lung of the world. Pay close attention to the ground beneath your feet. These are not the smooth, paved streets you know today. These are rough, uneven Belgian blocks, slippery with fresh mud and a thick coating of horse manure. The sound here is astonishing, a ceaseless, chaotic symphony. It's the hurried rumble of iron-rimmed wheels, the clang of carriages, and the piercing shouts and sales cries of newsboys, all merging into a deafening din. To our right, the majestic spire of Trinity Church soars heavenward. At this moment, the tallest point in the entire city, a singular symbol of spiritual authority amidst the material chaos. It's hard to believe, but at this precise moment, the church was the only structure truly reaching for God. Skyscrapers were still merely ambitious blueprints, simmering in the minds of architects. This was the world of the old New Yorkers, the elite families who had lived here for generations, now watching their peaceful brownstone city being devoured by the relentless, brutal march of commerce and industry. We pushed through the bustling crowd, past men in gleaming silk hats, and messengers darting between horse-drawn vehicles like shuttles, weaving the very fabric of urban life. We are heading toward the legendary intersection of Wall Street. Look at the intricate tangle of telegraph wires overhead. They are so dense, so numerous, they almost obscure the sun itself, forming a colossal spiderweb that binds the city together with invisible threads of information. Every storefront here is a ceaselessly humming beehive of activity, where fortunes are made and shifted with mere nods and gestures. I see a cluster of bankers standing on a street corner, animatedly discussing the price of Western Railroad stocks, their eyes gleaming with ambition and shrewd calculation. There is an almost palpable sense of enormous, seemingly unearned wealth being conjured from thin air. But look down into the dark alleys beside them, and you will see gaunt, ragged men carrying sandwich boards, advertising cheap 5-cent meals. This area would soon transform into the Canyon of Steel with its towering skyscrapers. And these chaotic, messy telegraph wires, they would eventually be buried underground after the Great Blizzard of 1888. But for now, the disarray is vibrantly displayed, a tangled mess against the sky, a potent symbol of unchecked growth and chaotic planning. Do you know that this very seemingly disorganized chaos gave birth to the entire modern American financial empire? Stay tuned, because the secret behind those crisscrossing telegraph wires will make you rethink the information-driven world of today. As we move northward, the air perceptibly shifts. The salty tang of the harbor fades, replaced by the rich aroma of roasting coffee, the dry scent of construction sites, and the faint, dusty smell of fresh plaster. We are standing at the foot of Park Row, gazing toward the broad East River. Above us looms the most ambitious engineering project in human history, a magnificent testament to human capability. The Brooklyn Bridge in 1880. At this stage, it appears like a colossal ghost, shimmering faintly in the early morning mist. Its monumental granite towers are complete, rising majestically like ancient Gothic cathedrals from the water. But the roadway itself remains unfinished, a gaping void. I can see the delicate steel cables strung like spiderwebs across the vast expanse, like threads of destiny being woven into the future. People called it the eighth wonder of the world, a construction that defied all the known limits of its era. High above on makeshift walkways, laborers, many suffering from the mysterious and agonizing illness known as the bends, are toiling day and night, weaving the city's future with their sweat and blood. At the foot of the towers, the Fulton Fish Market is a veritable storm of glistening silver scales and the boisterous shouts of merchants, a vibrant tableau of arduous daily life. This bridge would connect the two cities of New York and Brooklyn in just 3 more years, forever shifting the geography of power and reshaping the economic map. But today, it stands as a beautiful, ghostly skeleton, dominating the skyline, a testament to humanity's ceaseless ambition. Do you ever wonder what those laborers felt, suspended precariously in mid-air, building the future with hands trembling from pain, exhaustion, and pouring sweat? They were the real people who shed blood, and even lost their lives, in exchange for the progress we enjoy today. I will later reveal to you the heartbreaking story behind the bends and how it claimed the lives of countless anonymous workers, the silent heroes of history. As we follow the curve of the island eastward, the atmosphere shifts dramatically once more. We are entering the Fourth Ward. The elegance and grandeur of Broadway have utterly vanished. The streets narrow, becoming dark and claustrophobic, and the buildings seem to groan under the sheer weight of countless human lives crammed within. This is the world of the teeming tenements, where life unfolded under the harshest possible conditions. Laundry, washed and re-washed, hangs from every window like ragged, tattered flags, fluttering mournfully in the wind, a poignant symbol of pervasive poverty. The smell here is truly overwhelming and profoundly unpleasant. Clogged sewers, festering garbage piles, and the pungent aroma of boiled cabbage mingling with coal fires create a distinctive stench of destitution. I see barefoot children splashing through muddy puddles, dodging heavy carts, their eyes at once innocent and prematurely hardened by the grim realities of life. This was once the most densely populated square mile on the planet, where families of up to 10 individuals were crammed into a single room, devoid of privacy, natural light, or fresh air. It was a city of shadows, where the sun's rays rarely managed to touch the damp, grimy cobblestones below. Imagine the profound despair, coupled with the incredibly tenacious vitality of those mothers striving to raise their children amidst such brutal circumstances. They were the silent engines, the tirelessly beating hearts that kept the entire city functioning and developing. But wait a moment. The contrast that is about to unfold will leave you breathless. And I promise, you won't believe what happens next. We emerge from the oppressive gloom of the tenements and head west, returning to the island's center, making our way up to Union Square. The contrast here is like stepping into an entirely different world, a parallel universe of unparalleled luxury and elegance. The streets are wider, cleanly paved. The mud and refuse have been replaced by meticulously swept sidewalks. We are on Ladies' Mile, the premier and most luxurious shopping district of the Gilded Age. Look at the glittering vitrines of Tiffany & Company and Lord & Taylor, reflecting the dazzling light of expensive jewelry and opulent fabrics. Women here are dressed in elaborate, fashionable silk gowns with exaggerated bustles, their faces shielded by delicate parasols. The elevated railroad rumbles loudly overhead, running on sturdy iron columns, casting rhythmic shadows down the street, creating a mesmerizing dance of light and darkness. That is the sound of the future, of relentless industrialization marching forward. I see a beautiful horse-drawn carriage drawing to a halt at the curb. A gentleman in a luxurious fur coat steps out to escort a graceful lady into a lavish hotel. There is an air of unbreakable confidence here, an ironclad belief that this era of luxury and prosperity will last forever. Little did they imagine that just a few generations later, these grand department stores would migrate further uptown, leaving their beautiful cast-iron buildings to artists and their lofts in the area we now call Soho. Finally, we walk northward along Fifth Avenue, heading toward the constantly expanding edge of the city. We stop near 50th Street. To our left, the twin spires of the newly completed street. Patrick's Cathedral gleam pristine white in the sunlight, rising proudly against the sky. But look around us. The city is still very much in the process of forming, an unfinished canvas, yet brimming with promise. There are rocky, weed-choked vacant lots. Makeshift shantytowns, constructed from scrap wood and tin, squat directly adjacent to the magnificent, rising marble palaces of the Vanderbilt family, a truly jarring contrast. We see the upper reaches of Central Park in the distance, a man-made landscape masterpiece still maturing, slowly perfecting its sculpted beauty. The air here is cleaner, carrying the scent of fresh mortar and newly turned earth, signaling ceaseless construction. The Upper West Side remains primarily goat farms and jagged rock outcrops. We are standing at the very border between wilderness and civilization, between the past and the future. The men building these colossal mansions were not just the kings of their era. They were carving their names, etching their indelible mark of power and ambition directly into the solid bedrock of Manhattan itself. New York, in the truest sense, is a city built upon the graves of its own past versions. It never ceases to move, never stops building, and rarely looks back, always pushing inexorably forward. But as we gaze upon this vivid recreation of New York in 1880, we don't just see a historical tableau, we see the detailed blueprint of the modern world. We witness that same burning ambition, that same frightening inequality, and that same terrifying hunger for more. All the foundational elements that continue to shape the city, even today. The horses have vanished from the streets, and the tangled telegraph wires have disappeared underground. But the city's soul, that restless, ceaselessly electric energy, remains utterly unchanged. For me, this journey through the visceral, vibrant tapestry of 1880, New York transcended mere time travel. It was a profound, almost breathtaking reminder of humanity's extraordinary resilience and its equally profound, breathtaking fragility. Picture the raw, vibrant hope in the eyes of immigrants at Castle Garden, fresh off overcrowded ships, their stomachs hollowed by the journey, their hands trembling not just from exhaustion, but from the immense weight of an uncertain future. They arrived with little more than hope, a desperate hunger for opportunity, and an unshakable belief in a better life. Consider the unsung heroes of the Brooklyn Bridge, descending into the dark, pressurized caissons, braving the excruciating, often fatal agony of the bends, caisson disease, not for glory, but for the stark promise that their children might walk on the very structure they built, towards a life free from such brutal hardship. And then, the quiet, defiant strength of mothers in the notorious Fourth Ward. Their lullabies, a fragile melody sung not in serene nurseries, but amidst the pervasive stench of uncollected refuse, the biting chill of destitution, and the constant threat of disease. These were not idyllic scenes, but moments of profound, defiant love, forged in the crucible of urban poverty. Every single one of them was a flesh and blood individual, as vibrant, complex, and full of dreams as any of us today. Their crucial difference? They had no luxury of choice. Resilience, tenacity, and an unyielding will to survive were not virtues, but absolute necessities. My conviction is clear. History isn't a mere ledger of past injustices for us to lament from our comfortable vantage point. Rather, it serves as a powerful mirror, reflecting the hard-won battles that allow us to appreciate the comforts and rights we often take for granted today. It is a roadmap, not just to understand where we came from, but to guide us in constructing a more equitable, humane, and just future. Whether you are a seasoned elder who has witnessed the grand sweep of America's transformations, or a parent meticulously teaching your children about their roots and heritage, the New York of 1880 offers an electrifying, visceral lesson. Every comfort, every freedom, every technological marvel we enjoy today was not simply given. It was painstakingly forged, paid for not just with the sweat and tears, but with the very blood, broken bodies, and shattered dreams of generations past who dared to build a future they could only imagine. Integrate this profound lesson into the fabric of your daily life. Never dismiss the arduous journey of another, for their path, however different, contributes to the collective human story. And as you relentlessly pursue progress and innovation, let that driving fire be tempered, never extinguished, by an unwavering commitment to human empathy and compassionate understanding. Thank you for walking alongside me on this journey, traversing the currents of time and unearthing these profound layers of history. If you feel the powerful, almost defiant heartbeat of that city, still echoing in your own soul, resounding through the concrete canyons of today, then share this video. Share it with your children, your grandchildren, your loved ones, so they too might step into this profoundly emotional historical moment and grasp the immense, often invisible, value of the present they inhabit. And if your curiosity now yearns for another adventure, if you wish for me to guide you to a different city, a forgotten century, where human stories are perhaps even more poignant, more epic, and imbued with deeper meaning, then do not hesitate. Leave a comment below with the city and the year you wish to explore. Together, we will continue to awaken these dormant chapters of our shared past. Until then, I urge you, keep seeking those hidden layers of history. They lie not just in books or documentaries, but patiently waiting right beneath your feet, within every weathered brick, every uneven cobblestone, every street you traverse. They whisper tales of human endeavor, if only you pause to listen.